Welcome to day number 11 in the 28 days of love. I am your host, Dr. Sabrina, the people expert. And today on number 11, I want you to hashtag 28 days of love. And I want you to tell people that they can get some lessons here on Instagram, the people expert, or on my YouTube page, the people expert, about love. This is the month of love, so we're going in on love. So today, we're going to talk about the top 5 reasons why people fail at love. Top 5 reasons. The number one reason, and before I even go into the number one reason, let me tell you where this even comes from. There is a company called Leadership IQ, and Leadership IQ did a study on why people failed at their jobs. And when I looked at that list of the top 5 reasons why people fail at their jobs, they're the top 5 reasons why people fail at anything. So if we're talking about our love relationships, and whether that is your parenting, whether that is how you're doing with your mate, any love relationship, these are the top 5 reasons why you fail. Number one, coachability. How do you get better if can't nobody tell you nothing? How do you get better if every time someone gives you feedback, you don't take it? You get defensive. You become violent. You become despondent. You shut it down. You have to be able to take feedback from your significant other, from your children, from your parents, from your friends, from your coworkers. You need to be able to take feedback and then implement the feedback. And one of the things we have to make sure that we do, because sometimes people will give us feedback in a manner that we don't like it. They don't know how to give the feedback yet. What the feedback is still yet important and is still valuable. So as big old grown people, we have to learn how to separate what is said from how it's said. That's a skill set. Get into it. So next on the top 5 reasons, number 2 is emotional intelligence. And that's when you lack the ability to control and manage your own emotions, or secondly, to really recognize and respect the emotions of other people. So you're either the type of people that can't nobody say boo to you because you're crying, cussing, or fighting, or you're the type of person that push people till you push them over the edge. And that's where we get into that in our love relationships, domestic violence, because you're pushing people, controlling people, and your emotions are all over the place. You have to make sure that you, one, control your own emotions, and you don't allow people to get you off your square. There is an amazing book called The 4 Agreements, and one of the 4 agreements says to never take anything personally. And that's important because a person, when they do something, has more to do with what's going on in them than what's going in you. You control you. You keep you on your square. And if somebody is around you and they're able to get you off your square over and over and over and over again, maybe that's not the person that needs to be in your circle. I'm just saying. Number 3 reason that people fail at their relationships is they lack motivation. They lack the motivation to reach their own highest potential. They lack the motivation in the relationship. They lack the motivation to make the relationship healthy and good. They lack the motivation. So when there's a problem or a hiccup in the relationship, they'll go, well, I ain't talking to nobody and I ain't doing nothing. And you got to be motivated. You got to make the decision. You got to make the effort to make it work, because relationships are work. It's work with the right person. With the right person, it's going to take you some work. So you got to be willing, able to put in the work, because there is work in that relationship. Then number 4 reason is temperament style or character style, that the person lacks the character or the temperament to make the relationship work. These are the type of people, and it's interesting because you find this in the workplace, you may find it in your relationships, that you don't understand the person, they don't understand you, they're not communicating in your language, you're not communicating in their language. So you have to first understand what you're working with. When you understand what you're working with, then you know how to work it. So if you go back on some of the days, there is a day that I talk about self-awareness. And on self-awareness day, I talk about the 4 personality types. And so it's important that you know your personality type and you know the personality type of your significant other, because then you can communicate to them in a way, in a manner that works for them. And you'll stop just making someone try to be you. That's a big thing. Stop trying to make other people navigate the world like you do. They're not going to do it. People do them, they don't do you. So when you know what you're working with, you know how to work it. So understand that people come different. And this is the other thing about your love relationships. Oftentimes, most times, opposites attract. So the very thing that you don't do, your partner generally does do. So you got to learn how to navigate those differences in order for the relationship to work and to be powerful. Then the last reason why people fail is the lack of learning, the lack of information, the lack of knowledge. And so who taught you how to be a mate? Who taught you how to be a parent? Where did you get your lessons from? Oftentimes we get lessons from the experiences and models that we've been exposed to. But sometimes the house that you came from, and how they did it over there, ain't gonna work in the house you're creating. So you have to be open and able to learn things, to talk to people, to read books, to go to classes, to do retreats, to whatever it is to make you better at what you're doing. So whether that's being a mate, being a wife. I have a good friend. She has a program called Better Wife, Better Life. Look her up. Look it up. Google it. Better Wife, Better Life. The Toy Banks experience. She calls herself the most satisfied wife. She said, oh yes, she's satisfied. But she's put some work in, and she gives lessons, and she teaches women how to be a good wife. Sometimes you need some lessons, sometimes you need some learning, and you got to be open. And so there are men that need to get information on how to navigate being the head of the household, how to navigate being with a powerful woman, how to navigate being a father. If you've never had the experience, if you've never had the example, how do you know what to do? And so you have to be open and willing to get education. And education in our personal areas, not just education on your job, on how to do your job, how to open your business, but how to be a parent. I wrote a book for parents. It's called He's Not a Statistic, 12 Laws for Single Mothers Raising Black Males. And actually, the lessons are for raising any child, because the only tip that's on there, the only law that's on there specifically to a black male is to help them understand what it means to be a black male in this society. However, it is just important that you're open to learning. And so that may be going for couple counseling. Counseling is not a bad thing. Counseling is a wonderful thing. And let's take the stigma out of going to get help. So that is day number 11. I love you. I want you to hashtag 28 Days of Love. Check your top 5 and make sure you're on top of it. See you tomorrow.